Hello everybody, Thomas here, and welcome to SFF180. It is Monday, June the 19th, and time once again for the mailbag. I hope you guys have had a lovely week, a lovely weekend, gotten some good reading done, hopefully. I have gotten some progress done on reading last week, although it was in and among a whole bunch of other stuff that I've been having to attend to, booking trips and making plans for my end of summer little cluster of conventions coming up in August and September. But in order to spare you guys a whole bunch of long-winded announcements at the beginning of this mailbag, I put them all in their own video, which I posted yesterday. So if you missed that, check that out. It's about my end of summer convention plans, including Worldcon in Helsinki. Very excited. So if you're planning to go to any of these shows, do let me know. Please come up and say hi. And I promise not to ram my ovipositor down your throat and lay my eggs in your chest. All right, so we have a modest week of 6 packages this week. I don't think it's going to take us long to get through them, so let's get through them. And first up, we appear to have a package from either St. Martin's Press or Tor Books. We'll see. We start out very well with Laura Lamb's Shattered Minds. This is very exciting. This comes out tomorrow from Tor Books in hardcover. They're not billing it as a sequel, but it says it is set in the same near-future SF world as her book from last year, False Hearts. It says she returns to the striking version of an all-too-believable future San Francisco, with another fast-paced and thought-provoking standalone work of speculative fiction. Let's see, it's a near-future thriller, accessible near-future thriller with a cyberpunk vibe, reminiscent of Inception and The Matrix. Karina used to be one of the best biohackers in Pacifica, but when she worked for Sudis and saw what the company's experiments on brain recording were doing to their subjects, it disturbed her, especially because she found herself enjoying giving pain and contemplating murder. She quit and soon grew addicted to the drug Zeal, spending most of her waking moments in a horror-filled dream world where she could act out her depraved fantasies without actually hurting anyone. One of her trips is interrupted by strange flashing images and the brutal murder of a young girl. Even in her drug-addicted state, Karina knows it isn't anything she created in the Zeal-scape. On her next trip, she discovers that an old co-worker from Sudis, Max, sent her these images before he was killed by the company. Encrypted within the images are the clues to his murder. Oh, this is getting better and better. Plus information strong enough to take down the international corporation. Karina's next choice will transform herself, San Francisco, and possibly the world. So Shattered Minds, the follow-up, but a standalone, to False Hearts, comes out tomorrow in hardcover from Tor Books by Laura Lamb. Yeah, that was a strong start indeed. Okay, this next one is a thin little package from Random Penguin. Okay, I was sent a NetGalley of this, but I always much rather have the finished copies. It's a book called Amatka, as you see. The author is Karen Tidbeck, and I believe this is a debut novel. Let's say it's from Vintage Books. No, it's not a debut. I am wrong, because she has authored something else, an earlier book called Jagannath. Anyway, what is this one all about? Comes out the 27th, which I may have said. Vanya, an information assistant, is sent from her home city of Esre to the austere, wintry colony of Amatka, with an assignment to collect intelligence for the government. Immediately, she feels that something strange is going on. People act oddly in Amatka, and citizens are monitored for signs of subversion. Intending to stay just a short while, Vanya falls in love with her housemate Nina and prolongs her visit. But when she stumbles on evidence of a growing threat to the colony and a cover-up by its administration, she embarks on an investigation that puts her at tremendous risk. In Karen Tidbeck's world, everyone is suspect, no one is safe, and nothing, not even language, nor the very fabric of reality, can be taken for granted. Stockholm, Sweden, Karen Tidbeck is from. Interesting. So it's a good start this week for science fiction, I have to say, but Amatka comes out in paperback from Vintage Books on the 27th, next week. And next up we have a package, this is probably something from Saga Press. Okay, it is, and I am very, very happy to see this. It is the finished copy in hardcover of Kay Kenyon's new book, At the Table of Wolves. You've heard me praise Kay Kenyon before. I think she's a very underappreciated writer, and you now have no excuse not to check her out, because she has a new book here, and comes out on July the 11th. And here is what it is all about. I have to read the jacket flap thing, because there's no sell sheet. In the wake, it's 1936 England. In the wake of the enormous psychic trauma of the Great War, paranormal abilities have begun to appear in ordinary people. Kim Tavistock, a mild-mannered civilian reporter, happens to have one such talent, the spill, which means people involuntarily spill secrets to her and don't even realize they're doing it. While being tested at Monkton Hall, an ultra-secret training site for people with talents, Kim's caseworker recruits her for a dangerous mission: go undercover to try to expose the head of Monkton Hall as a German spy. Armed with a cover story, the spill, and a fierce determination, Kim infiltrates the upper-crust circles of some of Britain's high-end fascist sympathizers and finds herself going head-to-head with a charismatic Nazi intelligence agent with a dangerous secret. He has his own talent. Now Kim is locked in a deadly battle of wills and powers in her effort to disable a devastating, weaponized talent that can breach England's finest defense, its island isolation. To stop the looming invasion, Kim must sabotage the Nazi operation, but there is only one way in: join forces with the Nazi agent, and at stake is nothing short of the fate of the free world. Well, there you have it then. At the Table of Wolves. I'm looking forward to reading this very soon. Probably it'll be high priority right after the awards are done. But July 11th, At the Table of Wolves from Saga Press. New book by Kay Kenyon. And in her newsletter thing, apparently there's already a title and a cover for the sequel ready, but I can't really reveal that, so sorry. Alrighty, next up, something from Harper Collins. Oh my golly, you guys, this is a sexy beast right here. This is an ARC, but it's all like embossed in gold foiling and everything. This is something called The City of Brass. The author is S.A. Chakraborty. And it's from Harper Voyager, and they are describing it as their biggest book of 2017. So they're really big on this one. Looks like it. Let's see, it comes out November the something. Oh, there it is, November 14th. Cool. All right then, it says it is an imaginative alchemy of the Golem and the Genie, the Grace of Kings, and Uprooted. Golly. The future of a magical Middle Eastern kingdom rests in the hands of a clever and defiant young con artist with miraculous healing gifts. Nari has never believed in magic. Certainly she has power on the streets of 18th century Cairo. She's a con woman of unsurpassed talent, but she knows better than anyone that the trade she uses to get by, palm readings, czars, healings, are all tricks, sleights of hand, learned skills, a means to the delightful end of swindling Ottoman nobles, and a reliable way to survive. But when Nari accidentally summons an equally sly, darkly mysterious Jinn warrior to her side during one of her cons, she's forced to question all she believes. For the warrior tells her an extraordinary tale. Across hot, windswept sands teeming with creatures of fire, and rivers where the mythical Marid sleep, past ruins of once magnificent human metropolises, and mountains where the circling birds of prey are not what they seem, lies Davabad. One of those. The legendary City of Brass, a city to which Nari is irrevocably bound. In Davabad, behind gilded brass walls laced with enchantments, behind the 6 gates of the 6 Jinn tribes, old resentments are simmering, and when Nari decides to enter this world, she learns that true power is fierce and brutal, that magic cannot shield her from the dangerous web of court politics, that even the cleverest of schemes can have deadly consequences, and after all, there's a reason they say, be careful what you wish for. Well, my golly. Okay, I'm on board. What do you think? Comes out November 14th. Let me know in the comments. The City of Brass, debut author S.A. Chakraborty. Oh, what can I say, you guys? It doesn't look like we've had a dud so far today. Hope I don't jinx it. Anyway, this is a random penguin package. All right, this is one that I thought looked kind of cute, and the publicist contacted me, and I said, yes, please. But this is a new novel by Edgar Cantero. Now, Edgar Cantero's previous book was this sort of kind of paranormal story called The Supernatural Enhancements, which I was looking forward to, and I reviewed it, and I have to be perfectly honest with you, I was a little disappointed in it. That was 3 years ago. I reviewed it at that time. I'll link you. But this new one still looked kind of cute, you know? Anyway, it says, Spanish writer and cartoonist Edgar Cantero returns this summer with Meddling Kids. Comes out on the 11th of July, a pop culture nostalgia thrill ride that blends a deep love and admiration for classic teen detective stories with H.P. Lovecraft's terrifying Cthulhu mythos. What would happen if a group of amateur teen detectives and their dog sent the wrong man to prison? What might transpire if that gang got back together decades later as messed up adults and tried to close the case that still haunted them from their childhoods? And what if this time, instead of a man in a mask, they found themselves instead up against real interdimensional demon spawn? Welcome to the wild, nostalgic, and horrifying world of Meddling Kids. It was all over the papers. Teenage sleuths unmask sleepy lake monster. In the picture, the gang, 2 boys, 2 girls, and their lovable Weimaraner, okay, pose before the old DeBowen mansion on Sleepy Lake in Blighton Hills, Oregon. All smiles, freckles, and bell-bottoms, they surround a hog-tied Mr. Wickley in his salamander costume, his far-fetched criminal scheme foiled, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. Flash forward, that glorious summer is long gone, and 13 years of winter have followed. The gang's grown apart, adult life hasn't been kind, one of the boys was institutionalized. Oh, Shaggy. The other killed himself. Oh, all right. And Andy, their intrepid leader, is growing tired of not facing her demons. Too many things were left unspoken that summer. Not only her feelings for Carrie, the brains of the operation. There you go. For all of you who were shipping Daphne and Velma, there you go. Not only her feelings for Carrie, the brains of the operation, there are also the relentless nightmares drawing her back to that notorious night at the mansion. In Meddling Kids, it's time to reopen the case, reunite what's left of the gang, and return to Sleepy Lake. And this time, whether it's petty villainy or an eons-old primordial evil, the Blighton Hills Summer Detective Club will once and for all confront their fears face to face. Alrighty then. July the 11th. Let me know in the comments. Okay. And last but not least, I have this little, it's really loose and kind of floppy. This little random penguin package. All right, well, there are 2 books in this one, and they appear to be simultaneous releases. They're by Jason Hugh. One of them is called Escape Velocity, and the other one is Injection Burn, as you see. And these are some new books set in the same universe as his Dire Earth trilogy, which is one of those that I have in my pile, stacked up, and I got them, and I still haven't reviewed them. But I think the premise behind the Dire Earth trilogy was that there's some sort of apocalyptic event from space, and there's like this little area in Australia that's like the only place human beings are able to live. I'm just going to go down these cell sheets. Let you know. Okay, so the first one of these apparently is already out. Came out May the 30th. Injection Burn's first one. And it says part 1 of a thrilling action-adventure duology. Okay, so they're not like 2 kind of related standalone things. They are sequels. And rescue operation or suicide mission. Skylar Lucan and his ragtag crew of scavengers, scientists, and brawlers have a new mission, a long journey to a distant planet where a race of benevolent aliens are held captive behind a cloud of destructive ships known as the Swarm Blockade. No human ships have ever made it past this impenetrable wall, and Skylar knows not what to anticipate when they reach their destination. So that's Injection Burn. And then at the end of this month, on the 27th, we get Escape Velocity, which I guess they, injection burned rather successfully. And it says, but they now find themselves scattered around the planet Carthage and the space station she holds in her orbit. Their mission is now twofold: destroy the military compounds of a race of nefarious alien overlords and find a way back home to Earth. Roger that, we got it. A military SF space opera duology from Jason M. Hugh. And they are both from Del Rey Books. Okay. All right, well, a good week, really good week on the whole, I must say. Not a lot of packages, but I think chock full of some really interesting items. What do you think? As always, you know the drill. Hit those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting, exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize for review. Otherwise, leave a like if you enjoyed watching, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe. If you have not done so, that is how SFF180 grows as a channel. You can also support the channel at its TeePublic store and at my Patreon. Recruits into Wink's army are able to see my videos a day in advance. But those of you who are just viewers, I value all of you and thank you so much. I could not do this without your kind support. So until I see all you guys next time, happy reading.